Can you actually tell me, is it pronounced Kid Science or Kide Science or Kide Science? How do
They
you
are all
pronounce it?
fine. It's like same like with
Ah,
IKEA or whatever. But it is
yeah.
actually a Finnish word, kide, which means a crystallizing something.
Ah, oh
Like
wow.
if you see snowflake, there's many of these kide.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
also it combines nicely like kid, e-learning, an idea, like idea, which is a Swedish word. So we say
Very
kide,
good. Yeah,
but
yeah.
you can say also kid or kid science, and we hear those all.
So you started your startup in 2017?
December, yes, so
In
really
December
end of the
2017.
2017. We actually met with Jenny and I, not the two other founders, in the early 2017 for the first time. And I was having a 6-month-old baby with me. And I was like, okay, if we start to do something, can we start at the end of the year? Not now. And they didn't yet found the company, but they were looking for this new amazing idea about early childhood science education. They were looking for a business person to join the founding team. And when we met for the first time, it was like match made in heaven. And of course, it didn't turn out like, yes, let's wait for the autumn. We started to raise the money and funding for the idea immediately. And
Wow.
we actually got the first investment before we even had the company yet. In the global sense, there aren't that many early childhood science education providers. It's more
Yeah,
like people think that, okay, science education is for the teenagers. I remember also from the
yeah.
high school, I hated it. Uh, and it's then that Jenny is a chemistry teacher herself and a math teacher, but she realized that, okay, if you actually want to make the impact, how people are engaged for science, how they learn it, that you actually have to start early. And 95% of our brain development happens before we turn 6, which is quite scary. And there wasn't that many resources and giving the help for the teachers or parents how to do it. And that's how then after 5 years of empirical research with more than 1,000 families, Jenny and Aino actually figured out what is the best pedagogical model to make it feel for the kids that they are just playing, but actually they are achieving really, really good skills to develop their future skills as well. And those skills are not that we are trying to make every child a scientist. It's more like
Yeah.
actually giving them skills that help them throughout their life.
And then in terms of responsibility, you said that you got involved more as the business specialist. So you're working with a researcher and a teacher. I presume that the finances then fell on your shoulders.
It did, unfortunately. I hated it. I remember when we started with Jenny and Aino, like only 3 of us. Of course, I felt like, well, like we all did like everything. And maybe I knew the most about financing and business, even the words about what is even revenue and these kind of things.
Yeah,
I felt
yeah,
like this is too big on me, that I
yeah,
was
yeah.
afraid a lot that do I do something wrong, because I wasn't an expert of financing and even like the legal point of view, like what needs to be done legally when you are running a business for the financing, taxes and everything. But then we got some help from Reactor as well, like what to do and what to think about, like even templates and everything like this. But then we also quite soon decided to work with the accounting company, which is in our case is actually Emu. So of course, I feel that I have learned at the same time just doing this and talking with these people, and then the basics report. I do reporting every month for our investors and of course to our team as well, and these kind of things. So it's like you get to know the terms, but still I feel like I've always have somebody to ask help
Yeah.
and to kind of make the double check that is this right, should we do like this. Yeah, I feel like when you know who to ask help, or if there are some solutions to help and these kind of things, then it's easier.
Do you have plans written in stone yet about when you're going to get your first CFO?
It was already 3 years ago I said that we will need that, but I feel now also that we at the moment are in not that big need instead of what I felt before. Maybe it's because I've learned myself so many new things that I also feel like, okay, what are the questions I need to ask and who can help me and these kind of things. When the business goes bigger, then you also need these persons to actually take charge the whole financial thing.
What things were important to you in the really early days and what's important to you now in terms of KPIs?
Yeah, I think like first we, even before founding a company, we just tried to sell hobby clubs of Kide Science, and like the revenue was the thing that we can actually prove for the investors that we are not just nice idea. There are people who are willing to pay for it. The next one was when we actually had the platform. Of course, it was how many users. Not the lifetime value is still a bit kind of foggy for us. We know like how we can measure the lifetime value, but it's also that we don't. Our lifetime in general, we think that at least you would be with us like 3 years. We have seen that the ones who started 2 years ago or 1 year ago are still with us, but not that we can say already that they are always with us 3 years, because we didn't have the platform then yet. But at the moment, one of the kind of biggest bottleneck, of course, it's like when we get the user as our customer, people who are interested in a top level, like, okay, this is interesting, but how to turn them to a customer. And in education business, it's really, really hard because the budgets are really low. It's quite complex in the education sector. It's much, much easier to sell SaaS business in B2B world.
How would you describe the life of an EdTech CEO?
I think as an EdTech CEO or education CEO, I think the biggest thing what drives me is because we are making a huge impact, and we can see that through the children. Of course, also from the teachers, that you actually see how that affects, but like we gain so much lovely pictures and feedback from the children's actually doing Kide Science around the world. I would say that in the education sector, it's one of the most impactful, like you can change the world through education. I think there are many people who have said that, and now I can see it with my own eyes and through my own children as well.
Could you share with us 2 or 3 things that having children has taught you?
I'm actually super relaxed mom, and I'm really proud to say that. And I think my kids have taught me that it's like, it doesn't help if I'm all the time, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And also with Kide Science, we really much hope that the parents give the kind of time and the moments that they can try out. It doesn't matter if the glass spills over or something happens. The kids love to just try out, and even jumping on the pool. And that could be the science experiment, that your clothes get wet. It's capillary action and these kind of things. So we hope that the parents will give more time and experience for the children and not stressing too much about everything.
What was your favorite subject at school?
Art. And I actually was supposed to be a designer or design person. I actually even applied for a art and design school here in Finland. I was in the last round, and then I didn't get in. And then I was like, okay, what if I don't get in? When would I then go next? And then I was thinking, okay, what to do? Like I went for the open universities and stuff to study art and stuff. And then was really interested about like advertising, like how to kind of not only about the art, but like the making people kind of how they think about things and the visuals and everything like that. So I was actually planning to be like in the advertising agency, maybe some kind of creative designer and these kind of things. But then I end up going to BBA school, but also with art and communication or creative communication as a kind of a side subject in it. And now my hobby is the art. I still do paintings, abstract paintings and those kind of things, and I love that part. But still, it feels like I love to do and create my own business as well. It's quite quite
there's
creative.
Creativity all over the world in all different shapes and
trying
sizes,
to teach creative thinking skills and creative skills for the children as well. So it's like it's really important skill in the future.
Sari, thank you very, very much for taking the time to talk with us today. And we're looking forward to hearing more about Kide Science in the future.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure and fun.